Hi there, and welcome back to Wellness. Today we are sitting here together to talk to you about medical weight loss. Medical weight loss is not a new term, but it is something that is becoming more and more prevalent. Medical weight loss has actually been going on since doctors became practitioners and going around taking care of folks. What medical weight loss really boils down to is medically supervised weight loss programs that include medications, diets, and exercise. Now, in the past, before we had different medications that could be beneficial, we certainly worked with people on their weight concerns when they would come in and say, okay, I'm really concerned, I'm 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 plus pounds overweight. What do I do? How do I get out of this situation? And as clinicians, before we had some medication options, we would certainly discuss appropriate diets, appropriate plating of food, and the different exercises that burn some of the best calories, especially if you're not the most active person and you have a more sedentary lifestyle. We would talk to you more about, hey, this is what I need you to do to get up and get moving. I remember in the past when I was on my own weight loss mission, having been at over 350 pounds, I started exercising and doing more things, watching my diet and becoming a lot more aware of what was going on. And I remember my father-in-law coming to me and asking me, well, how'd you get this started? And I said, well, I'm walking at least 1,000 steps a day. And he's like, I'm doing 300. I said, can you triple that? And he looked at me like, what? And I said, no, it's about where this needs to go. You need to start picking up the step. So when we talk about diet and exercise, and now with the addition of some new medications on the market, there's definitely a lot of things we can do to help improve your weight loss journey. Key things that you need to keep in mind is, what are your goals? All right, that's the first thing. What are you looking for? What motivational goal do you have to keep you on the straight and narrow to losing the weight you're trying to lose? If you're only trying to lose weight because you want to fit in a certain dress because your 20th class reunion's coming up, yeah, can we get you there? Probably, but ultimately, as a practitioner, we sit back and say, can you keep it going a little bit longer, like maybe your 40th? You know, I want to see you healthier and happier. So when you're looking at goals, long-term goals are really important to keep in mind, because yo-yoing and losing 20, 30 pounds to gain back 50, 6 months to a year later, is only going to be harder on your internal organs. And one thing that's the most important to keep in mind is, when you start losing weight, and you are definitely in the obese or morbidly obese category, you are not going to see the results as fast as you think. You will see the pounds coming off, but you'll be going, well, I don't see much of a difference. Well, that's okay. That's the best part, because you're losing what we call visceral fat, and that is key. That's the fat that packs itself around your organs, around your heart, surrounding your intestines, around your liver, kidneys, throughout your abdominal cavity. And the liver is the one I want to focus on the most. Currently, we have a pandemic going on in this world with fatty liver disease. It is unbelievable proportions. It is now the #1 cause of liver failure. It is no longer alcohol or illicit substances. It is fatty liver disease. It is destroying the liver. When you get that fat off the liver, that is critical, because liver failure leads quickly to death. So don't be too disappointed if in the first month or so you're seeing the pounds on the scale, but you're not seeing physical results, because you're doing the thing that you need to do first, and that is to get that fat off of your organs. So let's go into the more medical aspect of it. The big hot topic today, everybody's talking about it, everybody wants to know about it. Right now in the United States, it's on a nationwide backorder and very, very difficult to get, but is Ozempic, also known as Wegovy, which is now the trade name for people using it for weight loss. And you'll hear that its generic name is semaglutide. So all three of those are the same exact thing. So anyone who was wondering, that's the case. You will also hear a drug that's being heavily marketed right now is called Mounjaro. It is the exact same type of drug. These are both GLP-1s, all right? They are both injectable GLP-1s. Mounjaro, not quite, but will be likely in the next 6 months getting the same indications from the FDA. Does it do the same thing as Ozempic? Yes. Yes, 100%. Is it significantly more expensive? Yes. Yes, it is. Again, looking forward to these things changing for the future. Right now, getting these medications is actually quite the challenge, as there's been a nationwide back order. I've had people tell me they've tried to find it in Mexico, it's on back order there. They can't find it in Canada because it's on back order there. Because people will go outside of this country to buy medications because they can't afford them here in this country at times. So that in mind, if you're looking, you're going to have difficulty finding it. The semaglutide, and I'll refer to it as its generic name because that's the most common way, is probably the #1 recommended weight loss supplement by our cardiologists in the country. It is strongly encouraged by the cardiologists because of what they're seeing when it comes to the results. Of course, endocrinologists utilize it frequently for their obese or morbidly obese diabetics. It is, most sought after by a lot of people. There are people paying upwards of $800 a month for a weekly injection. So it can be very, very pricey. What makes a weight loss, medical weight loss clinic is we can order it and have it compounded, where unfortunately your average person cannot, and have it delivered to the office for being able to do injections. One thing that's really important here is a firm understanding of what the medication does and why it does cause you to have weight loss. The medication, as I mentioned before, is a GLP-1. It helps the pancreas to release the right amount of insulin when the blood sugar levels are a little high. Meaning, when it does that, it helps the body convert those sugars into energy levels a little bit more efficiently and watching the levels a lot closer. And that is what helps them get into the cells to be burned as energy. What people ask probably #1 is, well, how much weight can I lose? Well, what we're seeing in a large trial done in 2000 with over 2,000, a large study done in 2015 and again in 2018 showed a group of 2,000 obese patients taking semaglutide, and after 68 weeks, half of the patients lost 15% of their body weight, and a third lost 20% of their body weight, which is a significant chunk. So if you take somebody who's 300 pounds, 15%, it's 45 pounds. 20%, that's 60 pounds. So that's a nice chunk of weight to lose, okay? And this was over the course of 68 weeks, okay? Some were faster, some were slower, all right? The first month weight loss ranged between 5 to 10 pounds as an average, starting at the lowest dose, which is 25 units. It's measured like you would measure insulin, or 0.25 milligrams. And again, that is once a week for 4 weeks before you look at upping it for a safety profile. It can be in that first 4 weeks that we see some side effects that develop from this medication. Unfortunately, with the exception of a piece of lettuce, anything you put in your body is likely to have some sort of side effect. Common side effects for this particular drug are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. You can develop constipation, so that is also a possibility. Fatigue, dizziness, though a lot of the fatigue and dizziness they felt came from people's appetites being curbed and cravings being curbed while on the medication, combined with diarrhea and possibly vomiting. Well, that can cause you to dehydrate. Now, key things for dehydration are dizziness and fatigue. So those may be staved off if you are properly hydrating. When you are at a weight loss clinic like what we would do, we will sit and talk about all of the things that you will need to do to make sure that these side effects are minimized. Luckily, most of the time, these side effects are transient. And that means they're going to disappear. So one thing the biggest thing I have most men ask about, am I gonna lose this belly? Can you help me get that off? Yes, this will help get that belly off. Do not expect to see it in the first 1 to 2 months. It's going to take time, and you'll start seeing it over 3, 4, 5, and up to 6 months. Okay? That's when you see it. The appetite will get suppressed typically within the first 8 to 12 weeks, and that's being conservative. I've seen it go sooner, but being conservative, I'd like to say 8 to 12 weeks. And that's when we really start seeing some weight loss. You need to have a commitment to this. And one of the things that's really important that Kara's going to discuss with you is the exercise. Exercise becomes a key in all of this. And as you and I know, at times we push ourselves to go to the gym, and sometimes we're not the most motivated, but we also know, you know what, we're going to feel better when we're done.
Yes, it really is a very important part of the whole picture. We're not just giving you medication to lose weight. Well, that will help. There is more involved. Exercise, diet, those items also are very important. So you might say, okay, so I want to make the most of my exercise time. A lot of people would start with walking. It's a great place, especially if you've been sedentary previously. It's a great place to start, just to get moving, get your muscles re-engaged. But over time, you're going to probably see, okay, I've lost a little bit of weight, but I need to do a little bit more. So we put together a list of what would be the most efficient ways and what would burn the most calories. If you're looking like, hey, I've got a limited amount of time, I want to make the most of every minute I have. So, things like if you're in the mountains cross-country skiing, well, we're in Florida. It's not really going to work for us, but cross-country skiing will burn 500 calories per half hour. That's a lot.
It is.
A lot. But then there's more realistic, like boxing. I used to go to a place called Title Boxing, and I loved boxing. Whether that could be sparring or speed bagging, just getting in there, engaging your upper body, that can burn 400 calories for a half hour. So that's a great one, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Great way to get out your
with the new VR technologies and the boxing games.
Yeah,
and
you don't even have to go to
You don't have to go to a gym. You can do it in the privacy of your own home. There's even things you can buy to put around your chest, even cover part of your jaw and wrist, that when you connect and the AI connects, you actually feel it, keeping you motivated. Like, hey, he punched me. It's my turn to punch back. And instead of going, oh my gosh, it's been 10 minutes, now it's been 30 or maybe 40 minutes because you had a good time and felt like you were really there. The important stuff.
Yeah, VR is really, it's a great technology that offers biofeedback, as you said there, but also the visual with the exercise keeps you motivated and is a really interesting way to vary your exercises. So other things, like if you're in a gym, battle ropes, the swinging of the ropes, that will really wear you out quick, but it burns 500 calories for half an hour. Indoor cycling. Every gym has cycles, so you could do that in any weather. It's a great way to get all the muscles engaged. Kickboxing, another form of sparring or regular boxing. It's great for full body. So there are a lot of different things you can do, even down to like elliptical and rowing, which burn around 400 calories for a half hour as well. So there's just no limit, and you can start small. Maybe walking is really the best thing for you, given other concerns, health concerns or physical limitations that you have. But the key is to do something. Get your body moving, get your muscles engaged. All of these things just build upon themselves. So it isn't only the medication, it isn't only the diet, and it isn't only exercising, but all these things together. Another thing that we were talking about that's worth mentioning is you don't have to do half an hour or an hour at one time. Maybe you only have 10 minutes. 10 minutes is way better than 0 minutes, right?
Absolutely.
So you do what you can, but you consistently try to be better every day.
Some of the things that we really kind of encourage more than anything else is if you can find an hour, and it doesn't have to be one consecutive hour. If you have a half hour in the morning and a half hour in the evening, well, shoot, why don't you change it up what you're doing on top of it all? You can in the morning hop on hop on the bike, an indoor bike, and put your phone down and pull up YouTube, and you're now riding your bike, the indoor bike, right through the forest like you would love to if you were outside. And you burn calories. You can stay focused on keeping the right speed and losing that weight. But in the evening, you have a little bit more time. Why not hop in the pool? There's no better all-body workout other than cross-country skiing, and they both are pretty much neck and neck. Hop in the pool. There are plenty of gyms, even in and around our area, the EOS gym that has lap pools. Now, they're an amazing place to go when you want to lose some weight because they have an indoor pool. They have plenty of weights. But knock out a half hour in the pool. It's excellent.
The pool is so great for people with physical limitations, too, to get that full body without the weight, like running, walking, that's harder on your joints.
Absolutely.
People who have rheumatoid arthritis or other inflammation diseases could really benefit from the weight resistance of swimming.
The same as the cycling. It sounds like it would be harder on your knees. Believe it or not, it's actually less painful for your knees to even to do some cycling. Running and walking is probably going to put more emphasis on your joints than some of the things that we're mentioning here. I had to chuckle when I noted in doing some of my research that, believe it or not, for those of you that can do it, jumping rope actually will burn 375 calories for a half hour. We go back to when we were 10. So there's definitely a variety of things that can be done. One of the probably least used pieces of equipment I've seen in the gym is the rowing machines. And the rowing machines can knock out big calories. 360 calories for a half hour of rowing, and it hits the core pretty hard. So all these things combined make such a bonus.
Yeah, or you could do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It all goes together to give you a lot of good results.
Especially when you're looking at doing variety versus feeling like, God, I walk 4 days a week. You don't want to be monotone. Let's shake it up. Make sure the body gets changed up and going, whoa, now we're exercising a new group. How's that working out? Let's get on to the diet itself. We talked a little bit about that. This diet that we have, a diet plan that you will receive, has a Mediterranean feel to it. And some of the best things about that kind of diet is it's a high protein, lower carb, not no carb, lower carb, reasonable carbs, okay? And then a moderate amount of fat. Now the fat is taken from mostly, to be perfectly honest, seafood. It's one of the best sources of our fats that you can get from tuna and salmon and the like. You get some amazing fats in your diet that are actually very healthy and high amino acids, which your body needs desperately to process and develop those proteins. These are key in helping you lose weight, get stronger, and build muscle and tear down fat. It's really important to note that this type of diet style is one of the better ones to follow. It does have breads in it. It does have beans in it. But what we're looking at are the more complex carbs, okay, which is more important in the end when you want to look at losing weight and staying in a good zone. What's important to realize is people want to say, or you'll have plenty of friends tell you, oh, just do a no-carb diet. That's not realistic. It's absolutely unrealistic. You're never going to be able to pull that off. There are carbohydrates in almost all of our vegetables. Almost all of them have carbohydrates in them. So the whole no-carb, that's going to be dangerous from the standpoint of you won't be getting the appropriate vitamins. Well, I can take a pill. Well, Yeah, but you're still not going to get the recommended daily allowance, nor are you going to get as much from that pill as you think you are. For example, if you look at it and somebody says, hey, your iron level's low and it's recommended you take iron, you're taking a 325 milligram pill to get 65 milligrams of iron. That same principle happens with vitamin A, vitamin C, the B vitamins, and a lot of the B vitamins and C we pee out every single day. So you need to keep up with those things. And the best way to do that is to eat a healthier diet and make sure you're getting it from those areas of food versus taking a pill, because you will get what you need a lot better. So, no carb, lower carb, sure. No carb, not realistic. Don't beat yourself up trying to pull that off. You won't be getting the foods you need. So our diet does focus on that. The diet plan that we give you, it's a 45-page booklet. All right? It will also give you a grocery list, a recipe list, how to make the foods, not just, oh, eat this. Too many times, eat 5 apples a day, and that's all you eat for the day. Okay, some of these diets that have been going on are just not realistic to maintain. What we're looking at is a lifestyle change, and one that you can do. And what's important about this is we give you the recipes to make, how to change it up, that it's not the same thing every week. This is based over a 3-week period with multiple recipes. We also give you a shopping list. We'll also, in our diet plan, tell you how many calories on your cheat that you will get and what it will take to get rid of them when you have that Big Mac from McDonald's, or I think the more popular thing is the Starbucks coffees.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, so we'll show you on the list, this is how many calories and this is how much exercise it will take to burn off one item. So our list of exercises and how much you burn can be really helpful if you have some vices that you need to make sure you curtail. So we'll go over all this in great detail. Kara, you think I'm missing anything here?
I think that pretty much summarizes it. It's really a lifestyle change. That's the key, is that, you can't, I've done it. I've been there where we do the diets. We are super restrictive.
We were.
Doing all the right things, or, the right thing for the diet in question. And, okay, so we lose weight.
Yeah.
But then
we brought it right.
It's not sustainable. We haven't really changed our lifestyle. We just are like, I really got to lose that weight. It kind of, Christmas, the holidays kind of added on. And, I expanded a little bit. Now I need to shrink. But then after a while, you go back to the old habits. That just doesn't work. It's a short-term success, but long-term failure. So we're trying to, through a 3-pronged approach of the medication, which will help you to get the jump start to change the habits. So the medication, the weight loss diet, which is actually, if you really put the effort in, can be a long-term lifestyle change, and that's what the goal is.
Yeah, part of our plan is that we really don't want you on the semaglutide any longer than 6 months. And during that time, we see you at least monthly. We'll be talking about all the lifestyle changes that are coming about and how to keep those going. At the end of that 6 months, I'm going to bring you back in 1 to 2 months and discuss where are we at and reweigh you and talk about what's going on.
Yep.
If you're staying stable or even losing weight, terrific. Let's bounce out a little bit further. If you're starting to see a pound or 2 creep back, let's talk about what needs to change next. Mm-hmm. There are some other options. We can look into naltrexone and a couple other things, and we can go into more detail when we sit and talk about that at your appointment. But yeah, that's going to be important. are you getting through those lifestyle changes? That's what we did, and that's when we were able to take off the weight and keep it off, which I've now been 3+ years, and it's been a little while, and it's been staying off and staying relatively, in good shape. I've gained back less than 5%, and I went from 355 pounds down to 212. So, trust me, I wasn't the most motivated person, and I know this young lady will definitely throw me under the bus if I were to say, oh, I was so motivated, because that was not the case. But when your health becomes at risk, you'd be surprised when somebody says, that's okay, I'll walk your daughter down the aisle. What that will do to change your attitude. These are the things you need to think about, your long-term goals, like I mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah. So, anyone who's interested in talking more about this, we do consultations. You can come in, find out how this could work for you. Our facility is located in Lutz on State Road 54. So give us a call, and we would love to meet with different people and see how we could help. It's a really great way to improve the life that you have and search out longevity.
Absolutely. There's definitely some things that we can do. We can add different things to it. There are some other add-ons that can help burn fat a little faster and a little bit more efficiently. We can go into that at the time of your appointment. I don't want to go into all that right now. It just makes this way more than what most people want to be able to handle in a 30-minute period. But certainly giving you tips and tricks on that day that you come in for a consult.
Yep. So we look forward
thank you all for joining us this evening. We appreciate it. Best of luck to you in your ventures and journeys and your wellness